Dan George with Jack Rafferty. Jack, thank you so much for your time ahead of your fight. First of all, just kind of give us a bit of insight into where you are with your camp right now, and what's it like training in this heat? We don't normally get this over here in the UK, but how are you finding all that?
Yeah, great. The hard work's not done, but the main bulk of it's done, especially today. Tapering down now. Like I said, I've done me a lot of the hard work's done. There's still a lot of hard work to be done left, in the ring. Like I said, with the weather, it's nice. The kids being the roads being nice and quiet, and it's sunny outside, so it's a bonus all around.
How much are you looking forward to this show?
Oh, massively, massively. It's You know, I'm not just fighting me, Zach Miller from the Finest Gym. Me main event, him co-main event. It's massive. 3, 4 fights ago. I'm still paying for opponents myself now. Newly signed to Queensberry Promotions, fighting a massive name, Mark Chamberlain, headlining. So close to home. It's what dreams are made of. I've worked hard for this, and I'll be getting awards. A week of Saturday.
And you kind of mentioned it there, so close to home for you in Altrincham at Planet Ice. How excited are you for the support that you'll bring to the night as well?
Oh, it's going to be amazing. There's a ticket or two sold, between me and my friend Zach. There'll be an army for me, an army for him. And it's not just that, it's the boxing eyes what are watching it. There's some great boxing eyes, top of the bill, headlining. I want to be doing this again. So, what do I need to do that? I need to perform and to get the job done. And that's what I'll be doing.
Before we look forward, let's look back a little bit. Your win against Corey O'Regan, how do you reflect on that victory for you?
Yeah, great win. Coming off Henry Turner. Reece McMillan then to Corey O'Regan. I've had plenty of practice with the Southpaws, luckily enough. Yeah, that Corey O'Regan, listen, I knew what he was about. We had him in for near enough our main sparring partner for the Reece McMillan. So, we both had a taste of each other. A very tricky, slippery Southpaw. I knew what it was about. I turned up in the night and luckily I got the job done.
And those last two fights have been at that new arena in Manchester, the Co-op Live. Just
Yeah,
what's that been like?
wow, special, mate. Like literally, I can see it. I can see it now where it is. It's what a place, what a venue. One of the first his own shows in Manchester. Um, like I said, it's a stone throw away. It's close to home. That place is what a venue. It's designed for a boxing ring being in there. Never mind performing under there. Very special, and it was a great night, especially for me and for Zach Miller.
And next Saturday you won't be there, but you'll be at Planet Ice. As much as obviously it's not got the size that the Co-op Live has, it's something that's going to be very intimate. The crowd kind of right on top of the the ring there. What kind of atmosphere do you think there will be next Saturday?
Oh, it'd be electric. I think all the tickets are sold. The place is sold out. I don't think it holds around 2,500. 2,500, and it is supposedly, there's not a bad seat in the house. So, to form to them, but like 2,500 people in one room, it's going to be noisy.
When was this fight first put to you, Jack, in terms of fighting Mark Chamberlain? Was this a possibility you've known of for a while? Just give us a little bit of insight to the story.
Yeah, we were sat next to each other at the was when we was fighting the co-op. He had a fight. He had an opponent. I had an opponent. We couldn't take our eyes off what job we had in front of us. We knew it was going to happen. We're both under Frank's roof. It's an easy fight to happen, and it's my biggest fight and biggest test to date. Um, what better to kick it off with? Headlining so close to home. It's Yeah, well, I've knew about this fight for a bit, so likewise to him, I think. So it's not like it's a short notice one. We've both been in practice for a bit, so I'm ready to rock and roll.
Has he always been on your radar? Because I know he's obviously fought at lower weights before, but when he did, come up to super lightweight, was this a fight that you kind of went, that's something I want?
Um, can't say it was, but like I said, when he moved up, especially in being under Frank's roof, so there was plenty of talk to it. Mark this, So listen, brilliant. The names getting mentioned. He's been a great champion at lightweight. He's stepping up, to super lightweight British Commonwealth titles. So yeah, we've known that this fight could happen for a bit, so it got posted to us, and we took it.
And what have you made of Mark's career? He's had that those big opportunities on those big stages over in Saudi Arabia. I presume that's something you want to get a taste of yourself as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. He's no stranger to the big stage. He's been there, done that, like I said, at Riyadh, been at Wembley. So he's turning up at Ultra Ice Planet Arena. He's not going to be a surprise to him. So he's been there, done that, and yeah, I'd have a taste of that myself. I won't mind a couple of paydays down there if that's what it takes. But Mark Chamberlain next, and that's my next challenge.
Do you feel like you've got an advantage to him in terms of this is a fairly recent step up to super lightweight for him? You've been at this weight class for a longer period of time. Do you feel that gives you an edge?
No, I don't think it does. I think Mark's a big lad. Um, I still believe he's a big super lightweight. Um, no advantage. I think the only advantage is my momentum at the minute. I've had since the Emily Turner fight, I've had I had I had Siberia. He was a 10 rounder. Then I've had three 12 round camps. Picking up on another 12 round camp and going into this next fight with Mark with them behind me. I think that's the only momentum, if anything. But no, like Mark's a big fella. Yes, like I said, he's still a big super lightweight.
He has been beaten. We saw that fight against Josh Padley at Wembley Stadium. Can you take anything from that fight in terms of what Josh Padley did on that day, do you think?
You could say things from it, yeah. What Padley done right and what Mark done wrong, but you got to think of all the things. Yeah, he got beat off Padley, which he did. But you got to think of all the other good stuff we've done before that. You can look at the kink in the armor there. Yeah, he got beat there, but what about all the other stuff he's done well before that? It's easy to look up on the his defeat, but you got to look up on his strengths as well. What he's done in his other fights, in which he has been a good champion at lightweight. So yeah, you can take things from that fight, but you can't deny the good things he's done before that also.
And in terms of with where you're at in your career, you're 26 and 0 now. Coming into fights like this, I'm sure that with, where you feel you're at in your career, do you want those big fights, those big kind of step ups, away from domestic level next?
Yeah, definitely. I'd like these, whatever Frank says, I'll do. But it'd be nice winning that British title outright, Christmas before, when it in December time and then push on to the big fights. But like I said, if Frank says jump, I'll say Hawaii. It's as simple as that.
Mm. And I mean, some of those names in the, 140-pound division, Teofimo Lopez, Richardson Hitchens, Devin Haney's, how much would you love to mix it with those guys?
Oh, brilliant. Like, this is what you're in it for, 8, 12 weeks of training, finally tuning yourself, getting in two men getting in there in the prime conditions and, fighting, battling it out, seeing what you're at, seeing what level you're at. It's great, isn't it? Yeah, I'd love a piece of that, seeing what it's all right, getting a cushioned record on or fighting this and knocking him out, but I meant to see what I'm made of, see where I can go with it. Pushing on to big things, maybe after this. So yeah, Mark Chamberlain next, which is a big name. It's my biggest fight to date. Then we'll go from there.
Just finally, what can you promise fans that will tune in next weekend?
There'll be a demolition job on hand for sure.
That's how you see this fight going.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, I've got to do whatever I've got to do for that fight. If that knockout comes, that knockout will come. But I'm ready. I'm tuned up. I'm fit. I'm strong, and I'm ready to rock and roll a week of Saturday.
Well, Jack, thanks for your time and best of luck.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.